Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today. This virtual event is all about arriving at Newcastle University London, and we'll be answering your questions live for the next hour. My name is Monica and I am a former postgraduate student at Newcastle University. I did a degree in international marketing and I have three experts joining me on the panel today. I will let them introduce themselves. Let's start with Jagoda.
Hi, I'm Jagoda. I'm a current student at Newcastle University London, and I will be answering your questions today about student experience and student life in London.
Hello everyone, my name is Dom and I'm a Senior Recruitment Manager here at Newcastle University London, working with students from across the UK and Europe, and I'm here today to help answer questions about admissions and accommodation.
Hi, my name is Indra and I'm a Student Services Assistant. I'll be answering questions about induction, welcome week, and the student services that we provide.
Thank you. So let me just remind you that you can ask us all the questions that you have using the live chat function on YouTube. So we have us answering your questions, but we also have behind the scenes a team typing in answers to your questions. So we will either answer your questions on the live chat by typing in the answer, or we will take your questions and answer them live with our panel. So we will start with a short presentation, and the presentation will be covering everything about traveling to campus, our location, welcome week, accommodation, starting term, and anything you have to pack and prepare when you're coming to start studying with us. So this will take 10 to 15 minutes, and after the presentation we'll come back to our panel, and that's when we'll start answering your questions. But you can start asking your questions already now, and our experts behind the scenes will start answering them. So please join me for the presentation now. Okay, let's start the presentation. So this is the presentation outline. We'll cover location, weather, how to register for a GP, everything you need to do before you leave and when you arrive, money matters, and support that we offer to you on campus. Okay, let's start with location. So here you can see a map of where we are located. So we're at Liverpool Street, which is Zone 1 Central London. It's a great location to be in. So we are between two very exciting areas of London. One is the City of London, where all the financial institutions are at, and we can see some iconic buildings from our windows, such as the Gherkin, for example. And also it takes about 15 minutes to walk to the River Thames, which flows through London. And the other very exciting area that we are on the border of is Shoreditch, which is a very hipster and cool area with a really good vibe. And you can find many cafes, boutiques, shops, markets around the campus where you can go and grab lunch. So it's a very cool area to be in. And here you can see this is a map of the London Tube, many lines, and you can see where our campus is in. It is, as I said, again, very central, and you can reach here from almost anywhere in London because many tube lines go through Liverpool Street, as well as overground and buses. So we are very well connected to the rest of London. This is the picture of our campus in the evening. As you see, it's a very modern, purpose-built building, and I'm sure you'll enjoy studying here. So a bit more about the UK in general now. So we have lower education costs compared to other major international student destinations, 98% of visa success rate, quality degrees recognized around the world. Just to remind you, in this year QS World Ranking, we are top 150 universities in the world, so great success. And we have great teaching style. We are a recipient also of Gold TEF Award, which is Teaching Excellence Framework, meaning that we have gold standard in teaching. And you can try to find a part-time job, you can volunteer or take a work placement if you're on undergraduate degree to supplement your studies here. Here you can see the map of UK. The star is where we're at. at the very south of England, and our mother campus in Newcastle in the north of England is around 3 hours away. 4 hours away, up north, it's already Scotland, a very nice trip I recommend to take if you have time from your studies. And here we have a breakdown of how far are some airports from us. So Heathrow Airport is the biggest airport in London, and that's approximately 2 hours away. Gatwick Airport is 1 hour away. Stansted Airport, to which I think most of the European students will be arriving, is only 15 minutes away, and there's an express train to take you straight from there to Liverpool Street. Luton Airport, also 1 hour away. Then the smaller London City Airport, 20 minutes away, and Southend Airport, 1 hour away. Now let's talk about the weather. So some people think that in London or in England it always rains, but this is actually not true. I would like to stress the fact that this whole summer was absolutely beautiful, and we had heat waves of around 30 degrees here. The whole summer, and London is also one of the greenest cities in the UK, so we have very many parks around and recreation areas where you can enjoy hot summers here. In autumn, so we have 4th of September now, so autumn is starting now. It's 17 degrees average, so again, not cold at all, and in the winter it gets down to 3 degrees average, so also very manageable. And here we have a little anecdote. So British people and their culture, they like to make small talk. And small talk is something that you start a conversation with your acquaintances or people you meet on the street. And people love talking about the weather here. So it's worth knowing that if somebody starts talking to you and they talk about the weather, which is constant a lot of the time, it's just British culture. So now let's talk about BRP, which is your visa, and NHS, which is National Health Service. So National Health Service, all students have to have health insurance, and you get health insurance for most students, for European and home students, through NHS. The European and home students have it included in their fees. International students will have to get extra insurance, which we offer through some insurance plan. And when you go to doctors, you get a prescription for medicine, and it is always a flat rate. You pay for your prescriptions £8.80 per every prescription, so that's different in England than in most other countries. So this is worth knowing. And dental treatment, unfortunately, is not free in England. So if you think you have any problems with your teeth, it's worth taking care of before you come to England, because it can be quite expensive here. Eye tests are also not free, and glasses and contact lenses are not free, so it's worth taking care of some of these things if you have any health problems before you come to England. But I have an insider tip for you that not many people know about. There's something called HC2 certificate that you can get. So this is a certificate that allows you to have some costs of your healthcare free in England, such as prescription costs, where you wouldn't have to pay for your prescriptions, and you wouldn't have to pay for some of your dental and eye treatments. And this certificate is applies to a lot of the students, because it is when you don't have income or have a very small income and don't have a lot of savings. So if you're a student with no savings and maybe only a part-time job, it's worth applying for this certificate. You just have to fill out some papers and send them to NHS, and then you will be able to have a much cheaper healthcare. And biometric residence permit, this applies to international students only. So international students, when you come to us, you have to exchange your visa for this permit, which you should carry with you at all times, and you will have to get it from a post office nearby. So when you come to campus, you will get from us all the details about where you need to pick it up from, and you will have 10 days from arriving to the UK to pick it up from nearest post office, and this will be your working visa for the year. And this is how your visa now looks like. But again, this is not your document for the whole year. You will have to exchange it for the biometric residence permit shown on the previous slide. Now, before you arrive, accommodation. So most of you, I suppose, will have already their accommodation sorted. There are several options. We have 3 accommodation sites. The furthest one is 15 minutes away from the campus, and the closest one you can basically touch when you when you put your hand out of our window. It's so close. So there are many benefits to renting a student hall. When you have student hall, so university accommodation, when you come, everything is ready for you. You have bedding, you have a basic set of cutlery and kitchen utensils. Everything, all the bills are also included in your rent, so you don't need to worry about things like setting up internet connection or paying your bills regularly, and you just get your keys when you arrive, so you don't need to worry about viewing rooms, sorting out paperwork, and all of that. So these are the benefits of the student accommodation. So we will take care of everything for you, basically, if you have decided to rent a student hall with us. Accommodation prices very much depend on the area where you live in London, and in a shared flat in a city centre, it's anywhere between 150 and up to 300, or even more if you want, pounds per week. And for the student accommodation near the campus, this will be around £300 per week. And this is a checklist what to do before you arrive. So have you paid your tuition fees, accommodation, insurance? And tuition fees will depend. Some of you will have paid them before you arrive, but some of you will have installments. Have you booked your airport pickup? So we have an option for an additional charge to book an airport pickup for you. All the information you will have in the communication that we have sent you. And have you sorted out your accommodation? Have you checked your passport? And is it valid for at least 6 months? It has to be. And have you applied for your visa? Have you organized cash and traveler checks if you need them? I'm sorry. And do you know your luggage allowance? And have you packed everything you need? So all the important documents that you need before you arrive is your offer letter, your CAS letter, your IELTS certificate or equivalent language certification, any documents that are listed in your CAS letter, passport or identity card if you're European, bank statement showing required funds, your medical history like immunization history, tuberculosis certificate if you're coming from certain countries, and your booklet with important addresses and telephone numbers in the UK. So some things to pack. So cash in pounds, we recommend to have around £500. Universal plug, some people forget about it, but in the UK we have a different 3-point plugs, so it's worth bringing a converter. Some warm clothing, so as we said, autumn is starting and it will be around 17 degrees, so make sure you have a jacket, comfortable shoes, toiletries, an umbrella, always a must in here, a bedding set if you are renting a private flat, and some comfort food from your home. Things not to pack. Electrical goods can be tricky because the voltage and the plugs might be different here than in your own country and they might not work. So please check before arriving. Do not bring raw food. It's forbidden to bring certain products, certain animal products from certain countries. Live animals, don't bring them either. Or plants. Firearms, of course, don't bring them either. Or any illegal substances. When you arrive. Going through UK immigration and customs. So when you arrive, call home. A lot of people don't do it, and your parents get very worried about you, so please make sure to inform them that you arrived in the UK safe. And then make your way to accommodation. Make sure to have it figured out. How are you getting to your accommodation if you haven't booked the airport transfer? And we recommend that you arrive on 24th of September, which is when your induction week starts. Money matters. So this is just to show you how how currency in the UK looks like. We have some new notes and new coins. So here you can see all our coins and notes that are in circulation now. As we've said, bringing around £500 in cash is what we recommend. Bring enough to cover all your expenses for 1 month. Credit cards are widely accepted in the UK, such as Visa and MasterCard or American Express. Currency, as we've just said, is pounds, and no other currency is accepted. When it comes to opening a bank account, student services will assist you in this. You will have something called bank letter issued, and this is when you will have your accommodation confirmed. And with this bank letter and your passport, you will need to go to the bank and open an account. And it can take up to 4 weeks. That's why we recommend you to bring some cash. And unfortunately, most likely you cannot do it before arriving in the UK. Typical costs in the UK, just to give you an idea how much things are here. Cinema ticket for students is around £10. Gym membership around £40. Bus ticket is £1.50 per one journey. Tube ticket in zones 1 and 2 is £6.60. Black cab, so a taxi is £7 per mile. Lunch is anything from £3 to £6, and dinner starts at around £15. Part-time employment, so students are able to work part-time. International students are able to work 20 hours per week, but home and EU students are able to work however much they want, but we recommend that you don't work more than 15 hours a week, not to have a negative impact on your studies. Public transport. So we recommend again that you buy actually an annual or at least monthly ticket if you have to commute to campus. So if you live somewhere further off from campus, that's where you would want to buy this ticket, because then you can save a lot of money as opposed to paying for your transport every day. And also you can get a student Oyster card. This is again not really advertised, so please make sure to remember that when you register with the transport here, you can get 20% off your ticket if you're a student. And you can also use your contactless card to pay as you go. So you can just beep in and out of tube. But again, this is a bit more expensive than buying a monthly or annual ticket. And London may seem expensive, however, there are plenty of discounts for students and smart ways to save money. So there are many promotions, and we recommend that you get like loyalty cards for certain shops that you do your weekly or monthly shop at. So if you go to some supermarkets like Tesco and Sainsbury, you can get a loyalty card where you will collect points, which will help you to save money later. And there are many places to eat cheaply around London, and especially during lunchtime around campus we have 2 or 3 markets where you can go and have cheap lunch. And download applications such as Unidays, which is an application in which you can see all the discounts for students in and around London, and also online. Support. So let's talk about your first week on campus. So Newcastle London Student Support. What can we do for you? We can check your passport and visa to ensure everything is in order. We can help you with processing all your payments and your tuition fees, check your original academic transcripts and certificates, and we identify any support that you need in terms of English language. We also issue a course confirmation letter and a bank letter that is used for your council tax exemptions, your transport discount, and your opening your bank account. And we also issue you with your ID student card that you will use for discounts and to get in and out of the campus. And yeah, this is a bit about our Students' Union. So we have a Students' Union officer, Charlotte, that is responsible for our Students' Union, and she organizes your Freshers' Week. So for some of you that don't know what Freshers' Week is, so it's a first week on campus starting from 24th of September, full of activities designed to help you meet your fellow students, get to know London a little better, and have some fun and ease into the academic year. And that's what Charlotte is responsible for. This is Charlotte on the picture here. You have some useful websites here that you'll be able to get back to later and start them in your browsers. So we have a website for our Students' Union where you can see all the current events that are going on, and soon you'll be able to see the breakdown of everything that is going to be offered during Freshers' Week. And these are examples of some of the activities that you'll be able to attend during the Freshers' Week. So we have, for example, an outing to a comedy club. We will take you to London Zoo to see animals. You can go to quiz night. You can go to a club night. You will have pizza night, some amusement park attractions, and also you'll be able to go and see a discounted musical, The Lion King, which is great. And that's it. That was all our presentation. Thank you for listening. And now we will show our beautiful faces again, and we'll be able to answer your questions. So hello again. We hope you liked the presentation, and now is the time to answer your questions. So again, please use the live chat function to ask us any questions that you have about the things that we've mentioned or we haven't mentioned, and we'll be able to answer them live. And we will start with frequently asked questions that we get from students, and we'll start with questions about your offer. So the first question that we have is, was the deadline to accept my offer? And I will ask this to Dominic.
Yes, well, there's normally not a fixed deadline to accept your offer. The exception is those of you who've been made an offer through clearing, where the offers are valid for 5 days. For all other courses, there's no fixed deadline, but we do advise you to confirm your place as soon as possible, especially if you're an international student who needs a visa to come and study in the UK. There will be a final date that we're able to issue the CAS letter, which is the official piece of paper that you need to apply for your visa. That exact date depends on what country you're applying for your visa in and what service you are doing. But if you're getting close to that date, we will alert you to that fact. But just in case there's any kind of delays or anything, we do advise that you confirm your place as early as possible.
Thank you. And the next question is, do you have to take an IELTS test? So it doesn't have to be IELTS, but if you're from a non-English speaking country, you will have to take an English language test. So IELTS is the most popular option. That's what most students take, but there are also many different language tests, such as Cambridge certification and TOEFL, TOEIC, I think it's called. So we have many options. It's all available on our website. So if IELTS is not the one you want to take, please check the list of all the language tests on our website. And now maybe let's move on to what to bring and pack. And what are the basic essentials that we think that students have to take with them when they're coming to the UK? Jagoda?
So think about it as you are going to a place where there is no people in shops. What would you take? Things like that. So basic essentials. Try to pack all the things that you need in a little bag and carry it on the plane. So the check-in bag, you should have it only their clothes and things that you don't need. It's not first aid stuff. So bring your phone, money, passport, your visa and everything. Have it in your hand luggage and the rest you can put in the check-in.
Yeah. So as we've said, there are so many shops in London. In fact, it's very famous for shopping. So if you're tired of your old clothes, just bring bare essentials and then go wild in London. Go to Oxford Street, which is the shopping district in London, and treat yourself to a new wardrobe for the start of the new academic year. Why not? And when it comes to arriving to London and arriving on campus, what's the best way? As I've said, we've given you in the presentation the times of how long it takes from each airport to get to Liverpool Street, if this is where you're staying, if this is where your accommodation is. If not, all the airports will have airport transfers, a bus or a fast train to central points in London, and then you will have to figure out how to get to your accommodation. And there are two applications to do it. So Google Maps, most popular, you can figure out how to get to wherever you need to. Or another popular application in London specifically is called City Mapper. And it's a phone application that tells you how to get to places and how long it will get you. So we recommend that you use this. And when it comes to getting to campus, it's very easy. As I said, many tube lines go through Liverpool Street as well as many buses and overground. So basically everything. What documents do you need to bring is another question. We've touched upon this in the presentation, but I will ask Indra again to confirm what documents do you need to bring to register as a student.
So as Monica said, make sure you bring your passport, collect your BRP card as soon as possible. You will need to bring all your original certificates. If they're not in English, you will have to have an official translation. And there's something that Monica has not mentioned. If you have any ongoing medical conditions, any disabilities, you need to bring evidence to support that. It's for your own good. You will need to go to the doctor for it, so you'll have to show them the history of your illness. Or if you need any help, for example, for dyslexia, with your exams and studying, you will need to show us proof of that. And another thing, for registration, where we collect your documents and make copies, you will also need to know your term time address and make sure you have a UK mobile number.
Great. And how can students get their UK mobile number?
You can pop into any phone shop, or we also have some SIM cards available at Student Services Desk. If you go to any of the shops, some will give it them for you for free or for a small charge. Just let them know you would like to get a pay-as-you-go SIM card.
Yeah, so pay-as-you-go, just to explain, this is a SIM card that you pay maybe £10 for, and then you have £10 credit on your SIM card. And then when you've run out of your credit, you can buy a top-up. So you can pay an extra £10 or £15 to have to use on your phone. And this is as opposed to plan payments. So you don't sign an agreement, whereas you have to pay every month. That's probably more difficult for most students. So pay as you go is the easier and maybe even a cheaper option. Let's remind everybody again, what is the best day to arrive on campus, Dom?
So all students are expected to be available for the induction and registration week, which starts on the 24th of September. You will receive more detailed information about exactly what happens on each day, but just plan to be available for that whole week because there are lots of activities, both in terms of registration and fun activities to get to know your classmates as well. But most students would be asked to arrive on the 24th of September. So make sure you're in the UK, in London, ready to go before the 24th of September.
Great. And maybe Yagoda, who is a current student and participated in Freshers Week and Induction Week, can tell us, what is the first week like? What did you enjoy the most?
Sure. So, guys, remember, the first week is the most exciting part of your studies, probably. A lot of things are going on campus and outside the campus. There are many parties organized by clubs around London, so I'm sure you will attend. But make sure you are safe and make sure you remember about the formal bit of it. As Indra mentioned, get all your documents done and then you can go party.
There are also other activities than partying. You can also have pizza or go to amusement park or to a musical. So there are options for everybody, even those that don't like partying. And I'll ask Indra to remind us, how do students register with a doctor and open a bank account?
To register with a doctor or open a bank account, you will need a student status letter. To get one, first of all, you need to be fully registered with the university. So the documents that I've mentioned before, once you bring that, once you have everything ready, you're fully registered, and then you go to Student Services Desk on the 4th floor, and you just request a letter for whatever you need it for a doctor or for a bank account.
Thank you. Now let's move on to talk about accommodation. I've talked about it a little bit in the presentation, but I'll ask Dom, what is the difference between university accommodation and private accommodation?
Yeah, so university accommodation, you can organise all through our admissions team as part of the admissions process. You will be then only with other students. You might be sharing a corridor or a flat just with Newcastle University London students. In some of our accommodation, you're mixed with students studying at other universities as well, which is quite exciting. Obviously, if you are renting privately and you're going on one of those websites that Monica mentioned to find a room in a shared flat or a house, you could be sharing with anybody. So not necessarily just students. You might be, it depends what you find and what you're looking for, or you might be sharing with other people who are living and working in London. Also a very exciting opportunity to get to know new people as well and explore different areas of London. Yeah.
Thank you. And for the students that are renting accommodation with us, can you tell us when will they find out which accommodation they've been allocated?
So if you're taking student accommodation that we manage, that you can book through our admissions team, once you have paid your accommodation deposit, you'll be allocated your room. The process is slightly different depending on what course you're applying for. But after you've confirmed your place on the course, you'll be given all of the information about paying the accommodation deposit. The process happens quite quickly. You'll be given the opportunity to choose which accommodation you want. There's a preference form, so you can choose sort of first, second, third choice. And then as soon as your deposit has gone through, our team will be in touch to tell you exactly where your accommodation will be, and also exactly when to move in.
Thank you. Very comprehensive answer.
Sorry.
So very exciting. We have a live question from Christina. So Christina is from Bulgaria, and she is asking if she needs BRP and HC2 certificate. So when it comes to HC2 certificate, this is not mandatory. So this is just an option. So this is just a trick that I gave you to not pay for your prescriptions. So you don't need it. You will be covered by NHS. You will have a health insurance, and that's what you need, and that's what you will get as a full-time student here. HC2 certificate is just something you can get if you don't have a lot of savings, or if you don't earn money above a certain threshold to help you with health costs. So this is just an additional thing from NHS, which some or many of the students will be eligible for, and it just helps you with the health costs. And what about BRP, Dom, if Christina is from Bulgaria?
No, so BRP card is only for international students who require a Tier 4 visa. So any students from the UK and the EU will not need a BRP card.
So just to remind all the viewers how to ask us questions. So there's a live chat on YouTube. So all you need to do is just type in your question in the live chat, and we will answer them either online through chatting or live by us. So please don't hesitate to ask us any questions. And we have another question from live audience, so it's going great. And we've been asked about contact hours. So for undergraduate students, Contact hours are about 10 a week, and for postgraduate students, it's about 15 contact hours. And some of you might not know this, but it's not like school, so you don't come to campus from 10 to 6 every day. Your schedules and timetables might look very different, and you will get your timetables in the first week of your studies. And it might happen that Monday you have a completely free day, Tuesday you come in for 2 hours, Wednesday you come in for 4 hours but with a 3-hour break in the middle, so it really differs. And for each term you get a new timetable. So please don't make any arrangements for, say, part-time work before you get your timetable. And also, don't be fooled by only 10 or 15 hours on campus, because actually you are required to do a lot of work at home. So you will be on campus 10 to 15 hours, but you'll be required to do a lot of self-study. So a lot of reading and preparing for your classes, which might take up to 20 hours a week. So it's really important that you do the work at home to help you keep on top of your studies. Now, let's go back to accommodation, and I was asking Jagoda, what do I need to buy or bring for my flat? What do you think, Jagoda?
So, firstly, depends on what accommodation you're taking, either the student accommodation or private accommodation from an agency or landlord. Check what is included in the price of your place. If it's a student accommodation, as we mentioned before, you usually get a bed set, a cutlery, some plates, and some basics like that. However, in a private accommodation, it's not so obvious. So make sure you check that. And then when you arrive, you can go to IKEA, for example, in London, and buy for a very affordable price everything you need for your flat.
Thank you. We have another live question. What is the ratio of home to international students? Dom, could you tell us this?
Yeah, so the fantastic thing about studying, certainly in London, and especially with us, is we do have students from all around the world. In terms of the different courses, so our postgraduate, at the moment, we're just over half of the students will be international students. Whereas with undergraduate, we are mostly home and EU students, but also have a lot of international students as well. If you're coming to study one of our pathway preparation courses, most of the students on those tend to be international students, and there will be a few EU students as well. And that's the foundation program, the International Year 1, and the graduate diploma. And what we're very proud of is that the environment you'll find on campus will actually be quite similar to what you will find if you're working in a big global company in London, for example. So when you're working on your group projects, if you're in a group of 6 students, you might all be from 6 different countries around the world, which is the best preparation you could have for going into big multinational global companies.
Thank you. And we have an excellent question. I'll ask Dom to answer it again. So this is, what are the differences when it comes to studying between the campus in Newcastle and the campus in London?
Great question. Yes. So where to start? In terms of the university and the courses themselves, they're largely similar. So we offer the same courses at the campus in Newcastle and the campus in London. The modules themselves are the same. The only difference is at the campus in London, your elective modules are predetermined, so they're chosen for you. Whereas in the Newcastle campus, it's much bigger. So you'll have a slightly larger selection of elective modules for some courses. The real difference, it sounds very obvious, but it's location, obviously. We're a small campus in the centre of this big, wonderful, exciting city of London. The campus in Newcastle is a big campus in a slightly smaller city. And the environment, I suppose, for students is quite different as well. Our campus here it's a very close-knit, sort of personal-friendly campus. So we're, at the moment, about 500 students. We'll be slightly more from September. So it's a really sort of, friendly atmosphere on campus. The campus in Newcastle is much, much bigger. You've got students studying engineering and medicine and architecture, something like 24,000 students. So the environment around campus is quite different. The location, of course, of the campus is quite different. But in terms of the academic side of the degrees, largely the same.
And I will add to this, it might not be obvious to some of you, but in a traditional big business school like in Newcastle, when you study your undergraduate degree or bachelor degree, you'll be having lectures with around 300 students. On your postgraduate master's degree, you'll be studying with 100 or 150 students. But here, I like to say that we're more like a private business school in terms of our numbers, really, because your class size for your lectures and seminars will be about maybe up to 50 students, really. So it's all much smaller, and it means sometimes that you can, engage better with your lecturers, engage better with your fellow students, maybe get more out of the lectures because it's a much smaller class, and also, as Don mentioned, we only do business in London, so that means we can really specialize in it, and we try to provide many opportunities to our students also outside of the classroom. So if you haven't heard about it, we have a great program called Masterclasses, and it's a series of lectures that we have every Wednesday on campus during term time, and these are lectures where we invite industry speakers from all kinds of different industries like fashion, insurance, accounting, food, everything really, to help get our students insight into what it is and how it's like to work in this industry. And our industry speakers give you like tips on how to make it in the industry, tell you about their story and how they got there, tell you about their careers, and you can network with them afterwards and find out more. And this is a great opportunity, and it's an option. It's not mandatory, so it's an extra thing beyond your classes to help you find out more about your future career and what you want to do, and help you connect maybe with future employers as well. So this is just an example of some opportunities that we have for our students as a specialized business campus. We have another different question. Oshadi is asking about the books you need to buy for your course and when are you going to know about the books. So basically, we recommend that you actually don't buy any books yet, although on the website, when you go into your course and you go into modules, you can click through on every module and see recommended readings for this module. But please don't buy any books yet. In the first induction week, in the teaching week that starts in October, you will be informed at the first lecture that you will have what books you will be reading this semester, what materials you'll be using, and actually, most often than not, you won't even need to buy books because they will be available in our library or online. We have big resources, library resources online, over 1 million books available online. So if it doesn't bother you to use your computer for reading, in many cases you won't even need to buy your books. So please wait for your first week of teaching to find out exactly what you will need. And the next question is, how will you meet people? How to best make friends in London? And I'll ask Jagoda to answer this.
Yes, so this is a big city, amazing, huge, exciting city. So you can meet people anywhere, basically, on the bus stop, in a cafe, in a party. However, university gives you the ability to meet people on campus. For example, during the first week, which will be their Freshers Week, there will be a lot of activities organized on campus and off campus. As we mentioned before, for example, going to the zoo, we will have a pizza party, etc. So you will have a lot of time to connect with people, to talk to them, and also because we're such a small campus, there will be only like 100, maybe a little bit more people around. So I'm sure you will recognize the faces after the first week, which is very nice.
Thank you. And we have another question from live audience. Did the university provide free airport pickup If yes, what are the dates? Indra, could you maybe shed a light on this?
Yes, so unfortunately, you will have to pay for your airport pickup. If you are under 18, you must book an airport pickup through us. However, if you're not, you have an option, whether you want to or not. You can book it through us, which will make it a bit easier for you because they will take you right to the location where you need and they will give us a note that you're safe and sound. If you don't want to do that, you're free to use whatever you would like. I would recommend National Express because it's the cheapest and best option. I think that's only that to it.
Yeah, so it's quite easy to get from all the airports to London. There are good transport links. As Indra mentioned, there's National Express, which is a bus that you can take, and from some airports there are also express trains. So for sure from Stansted Airport there's an express train that takes 15 minutes to get you right to Liverpool Street. So just go on the airport website to which you'll be arriving and look at the information they provide there. I promise it's really easy to get to London from all the airports. And we have another question from Donalyn. What types of clubs and societies do you have in our Students' Union? And can we give more information about London Student Central? So I will ask Dom to answer this question.
Yeah, so we have a few clubs and societies that have been set up by our students here at the London campus, including things like cheerleading. There's an award-winning football society that won a Students' Union award last year. But we're always looking for students to take a bit of a lead and start new clubs and societies as well. So if you have any particular interests, we'd love for you to be involved in the Students' Union. And you can speak to Charlotte, our Students' Union coordinator here at the London campus. She has an office in our main sort of breakout area, so she's very difficult to miss. And she can provide support and potentially funding for you if you do want to start a club or society here. Looks great on your CV. We also have the option of Students' Central. Now, Students' Central is the Students' Union for all of the University of London colleges around the city and many other smaller higher education institutions like ourselves. You can join Students' Central because you're a student with us, and that gives you access to a much wider range of clubs, societies, sports facilities. They've got bars, music venues and things as well. It's the largest students' union in the whole of Europe, so it's a great opportunity to meet with other students who are studying at other universities in London, again who are from all around the world and have all sorts of weird, wonderful, crazy or fantastic interests and hobbies. So that's a really good place to start. And you'll find out information about how to join Students' Central during your first week on campus. And they do a massive freshers fair normally at the end of that week as well. So that's a good starting point to go and find out what they have on offer.
Great, thank you. And we also have a question about when do you register? Indra, if you could answer this.
Yes, so registration will be for a few days. It depends on the cohort that you're in. So for Pathway, for example, you will have to register on Tuesday, so 25th of September. Also, if you cannot make it for any of those days, we have a late registration. It's still during the Freshers Week. It's on Friday. That will be what day? 28th, I believe. Yes. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so it's all happening in the first week when you arrive from 24th. And also, somebody was wondering if social activities that we offer in Freshers Week, if some of them continue throughout the term. So the answer is yes. So our Students' Union does organize activities throughout the term, and many of them will be similar to what we offer in the Freshers Week. So something like going out to theater, going up for a pub quiz, or going even on a trip somewhere. So that's what the Students' Union is for, to not only provide Freshers Week, but also help you socialize with your fellow students throughout the term time. And there's also a question, when do classes start? Dom?
So your classes will start the first week of October. So that's when the hard work really starts. So just to echo what Yagoda said earlier, really make the most of that first week from the 24th. It's great fun. You will have to do some registration things, but there's loads of fun activities. So make the most of that week. Make as many friends as you can. The following week, the first week of October, you will have to start your classes. You'll have your timetable by then. Hopefully you will know some of, if not all of your classmates. But yeah, first week of October will be time to start studying.
Thank you. And then we have a question about the University English Language Assessment. So this is something we offer on campus after you arrive. Dom, could you tell us a bit more about the language assessment and if everybody has to take the English language test, even if they've taken IELTS?
Yes. So the University English Language Assessment is something you will have to sit during your first week, usually, if you are a non-native English speaker. Now, I know that sounds scary, that you have to come and do a test straight away, but it's only there so we can identify what support we can give you over the course of your studies with us. We don't expect you to prepare for it. Your place at the university is not in danger. Your place is absolutely confirmed. It's just to see what we can do to help support you if there are parts of your English language ability that you struggle with. We do have a free in-sessional English support available to you throughout your studies, and you'll find out all about that during the first week. There are some exemptions to that test, so if you have a particularly high IELTS when you come in, or you're from certain countries, or you've been studying in English, there are a few exemptions, but most students who are not native English speakers will be asked to take that test. But just to reiterate, don't panic, don't worry, you're safe. It's a positive thing. It's purely to see how we can better support you to do well.
Thank you. We have a question about any activities for international students before 24th September. So we don't have any separate International Welcome Week, and all of our activities start on 24th of September. And they're not organized by where you're from, but they're organized mainly by course. So all the undergraduate students will have activities together, and all the postgraduate students will have activities together. So the short answer is no, there is nothing going on between 24th of September. And also, next question from Christina about similar matter is, what does she need to do on the first day on 24th of September when she arrives on campus? So to answer this, your individual induction timetables will be sent to you very shortly. When will that be?
They should be coming in the week before induction.
So the week before induction, so very soon, you will all receive your individual induction timetables with all the activities and what's happening exactly when. So you will know exactly what time to arrive and what's your first activity from these timetables. And maybe now for the last 5 minutes, so if you have any questions, please ask them now, so we can still answer. And I will ask Jagoda about work during studying. Some of you are wondering about that. So can you tell us if it's possible to work during studying and how best to find a part-time job?
Thanks. So yes, it is absolutely possible to work during studies, and I would highly recommend it for everyone. Even if you don't really need that money, I would highly recommend this for your CV, for your future, and there's never enough money. Like, come on, guys. Yes, so there are many options how you can find your part-time work. Sometimes some of the employers advertise themselves by leaving leaflets on the campus, or you can find them online. There are many websites that we can provide, and yes, just look around, or you can just traditionally print your CV and go to the places you want to work in.
And Jagoda actually is doing part-time work as a student ambassador. So this is something we have on campus and we'll have also from September, and we'll be recruiting for student ambassadors. So I recommend that you apply. So this is a scheme where we employ student ambassadors to help us with things such as office tasks, some administrative tasks, also social media content creation, some marketing activities, so something more interesting. Writing blogs is a big thing as well. We always look for students to write blogs for us about their student experiences, and all of these these opportunities are paid. So please, in the induction week, be on the lookout, because Jagoda will be coming to your induction week and personally telling you about the student ambassador scheme and encouraging you to apply. So we have opportunities for part-time work everywhere in London and also on our campus. And I think that is it for today. If you have any more questions or we haven't answered anything sufficiently, please comment under this video. This video will be available for you to view later as well if you missed something or you just want to listen again. And if you have any more questions, just comment under the video and we'll get back to you individually. Also, if you'd rather not ask your question in a comment, you can just send us an email. And our email is outreachlondon@newcastle.ac.uk. So please send us an email if you have any more questions. And if not, we will see you in September. So we hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching, and see you soon.